Dr. Emily Laidlaw. Christopher Wiley's revelations about Cambridge Analytica's data harvesting techniques of Facebook profiles are just the beginning in a big tech shakeup. As the debate wears on, we risk marrying two separate, but equally important, conversations: the responsibilities of companies like Facebook in a democracy and the sufficiency of our laws to handle this type of privacy breach. By focusing solely on the privacy scandal, we will lose sight of the forest for the trees and find ourselves in this mess again soon. Facebook is like its own country, with a GDP based entirely on exporting its citizens' personal information. It has 1.9 billion active users who share 1.3 million posts per minute. Whenever there is a dispute, it is settled on Facebook's terms. The way that Facebook structures its site influences the news we are exposed to, and this shapes our political and social lives. Even a decision by Facebook to do nothing, to not intervene, to delete certain content or shift content up or down in the news feeds, is a decision about the information its users see. We used to talk about Facebook as a gatekeeper to online participation, like a bouncer who decides whether or not to admit a patron. Facebook has far surpassed that. It facilitates, channels, shapes and censors the information we consume. This gives Facebook a whole lot of power, and regulators need to examine what kind of responsibility this should invite. It is because of Facebook's power that the privacy invasions of Cambridge Analytica, and indirectly Facebook, are so egregious. People are seen through blinds searching inside the offices of Cambridge Analytica in central London on the evening of March 23, 2018, just hours after a judge approved a search warrant of the offices. Facebook is like a town square, but one where only opinions that we want to hear are heard. This impoverishes us. News and opinion is balkanized, self-serving and fake. We get our dopamine hit of likes, reassure ourselves that everyone thinks exactly like us, and scroll on. And there is the rub. Facebook has the capacity to impact democracy in a way traditionally reserved for public institutions, but without any similar public accountability. The idea of a company with public functions is not new, with debates in areas such as transportation, the media and telecommunications. Transportation provides an important public service, shuttling goods and people. The media are critical institutions in the public sphere. Internet service providers connect users to the internet, which is increasingly important to thrive in the modern world. If we understand the public function of the Facebooks of the world, we understand that they have power and can think differently about how to regulate them. What is concerning with the Facebook scandal is its influence on the rights of free expression and privacy, which is normally the preserve of government. This creates an accountability gap. Global Science Research breached Facebook's terms and conditions by selling the data collected for research to Cambridge Analytica, which in turn used it to micro-target U.S. voters. We now know that Facebook did not audit or otherwise provide oversight to ensure contractual compliance. The question is whether Facebook should have provided this oversight, or arranged for independent audits, both legally and ethically. At a basic level, Facebook failed to protect its users' privacy. More than that, we were dependent on Facebook to be our privacy champions, because we did not know what we needed to protect ourselves from. The question for the federal government is how to protect users from Facebook. Yes, this invites scrutiny of our privacy laws, but it also invites a much broader question about how we regulate internet companies with such power. The federal government has two tasks ahead of it. It needs to prioritize reform of federal privacy laws. The Facebook scandal is a good stress test of privacy laws, and is safe to say all the system failed along the way. The federal government should also examine how technology companies like Facebook are and should be regulated in Canada given their power. There is an attitude around technology companies in the Silicon Valley that any regulation will break their stewardship of a free and open internet. It won't. However, blunt, ill-considered regulation of technology companies will isolate Canada and fail to deliver the protections we seek. We must tread thoughtfully but swiftly, and this requires more than an overhaul of our privacy laws. Dr. Emily Laidlaw is an associate professor in the Faculty of Law at the University of Calgary and author of Regulating Speech in Cyberspace, Gatekeepers, Human Rights and Corporate Responsibility at Emily Laidlaw.